Namaskar, dear devotees and friends, and good morning. This Sunday, we will discuss about the Yoga Vasistha. Let us begin with the stotra. Dikaladi anabachinna ananta chinmatra murtae Swanubhuti ekamanaya namah shantaya tejase. I salute the Supreme Brahman, who is beyond all qualities, tranquil, beyond the limitations of the directions, space, time, or objects, who alone is the embodiment of infinite consciousness, and who is to be known only through the proof of one's own experience. So, this is the Brahman, and the whole book, Yoga Vasistha, the Yoga Vasistha Sara that we are studying, is a concentrating completely on the Brahman. So, the Brahman alone exists. That is our today's the talk. The Brahman alone exists. After the winter break for 2 months, January and February, we are resuming this study of the Yoga Vasistha from today. In our last discourse in December 27, 2020, we had discussed on the topic that this world is Brahman. And today we are going to discuss the Brahman alone exists. So, this world is Brahman, and many of you know that the whole thing was happening when Sri Ramachandra he lost interest in the worldly life. So, Rama was thinking after he completed his study and in a Guru Griha, then he visited different places of his own country and the pilgrimage centers, came back, and then he was wondering, what is this life for? What is the meaning of this life? Just eating, drinking, and then leaving after some time, then we die? Is this the life? So, he lost all interest. That was the time another rishi came, and he was inviting Sri Ramachandra to help him in his own ashrama. So, this story goes like this. And when the Rama came in the court, his father, the king, Dasharatha, summoned him. So, then he told why we should have all this. This world is completely temporary, and I am not finding any interest in it. I don't like to be the king. I don't like to waste my life in this way. I like to renounce. So, that is the main. Then the Dasharatha became naturally concerned, and he requested his Kula Guru, his the family teacher, the Vasistha Deva. So, can you please convince Sri Ramachandra not to leave this world? Dasharatha himself was a Jnani. He knew everything. But at the same time, he was thinking it will be better if the Guru says that. So, the Guru developed the conversation, the dialogue, and the conversation is Yoga Vasistha. The Vasistha, he is convincing Sri Ramachandra, and there are a lot, it's a huge book, and we are studying only the Sara, the important philosophical discussions that they both had. In the last time we read, the Rishi Vasistha explained to Sri Rama that on Satchid Ananda, on the Brahman, Maya through her deluding power superimpose this phenomenal world. The Rishi gives the example. This is that you see this world is nothing but the superimposition of the something that is the power of the Maya. But what is the basis? Basis is Brahman. Basis is consciousness. If that is the consciousness is there, then why you have to leave this world? The world is ultimately illusory. For some illusion, to remove the illusion, the fear, to remove the fear, you are becoming more afraid of it. So that is how the argument was going on. A person not having the knowledge of gold, then he is giving the example. The very good example, very simple example. A person saw a bangle. It was a golden bangle. But the person was not having any idea about the gold. What he will see? He will see only the bangle. He will not understand what is made of, the gold. So, the golden bangle, a person not having the knowledge of gold sees the golden bangle as only a bangle. Similarly, a person who is not having the idea that this world is nothing but the Brahman, he sees only the human being, the animals, the birds, and all these varieties. He sees that only. As a person sees the bangle only. But at the back of that bangle, or the made of that bangle is gold. It's so costly that he is not aware of. And similarly, the ignorant people, when looking at the world, they see only the world, not the Brahman. So that is the difference. Only the Brahman. We go on talking about the God realization, and we are thinking how to realize the God, and we are having some peculiar conception about the God realization. Very, very interesting stories are there about the God realization. We mainly go for the mystical power, miraculous power, and we think that is God realization. It is nothing like that. It is the truth. And what is that truth? That it is eternal consciousness. And what we see apparently is superimposed on it by the Maya. Second example he is telling, one who has no idea of Brahman sees these as city, houses, hill, trees, but not the Brahman. The second, he just to slowly, same thing, repeating in a different way, then the understanding becomes clear. The person who is not having any idea about the Brahman, the consciousness, he sees. Nowadays we can give the example, in the modern time we can give the example, and I frequently say like that, then when we look at the electrical apparatuses, there's a tube light, and the bulb, and the computer, and the telephone, and the other lights are working. All are different names, different forms, different type of activities. But in reality, all are working because of the electricity. Similarly, in the world, when you see a human being, a horse, different names, different forms, different activities, millions of varieties are there. But if we analyze, there is a consciousness that is pervading each and everything. Sutre manigana iva, in the Bhagavad Gita, as Sri Krishna said, Sutre manigana iva. The monies, that the jewels are there, but in between the jewels there is a thread. Different jewels, different sizes. The cost must be different. Lustures are different. But in between all those, there is a thread, and that is actually making that the garland. That is the way it's made. So this is the one only making a mistake by seeing the city, the hills, the trees, but not Brahman. And then he giving another. For the blind, this world is full of darkness. Those who are blind, unfortunately, they see only darkness. There is nothing. No form, no light, no color, only dark. But those who are having the eyes, they can see the beautiful world. This is the difference. So what he wants to say, that if you develop knowledge, then you will see the consciousness, the beautiful God. He is holding everything. The different type of imaginary ideas has been given by the rishis, so the people can understand that this completely, the Vishnu is holding it, maintaining it, beautiful world. And so many color, beauties, everything. So that is the Lord Vishnu, he is holding it. The creation, sustenance and the dissolution, everything is happening. So this is the way, as because when we talk about the consciousness, is an abstract idea, though without the consciousness we are nothing. We are dead, but still we are not very much aware about the consciousness. So Rishi is giving, the Yoga Vasistha is giving these examples to Sri Ramachandra, and he said, an ignorant person always feels unhappy in this world, but one who has realized the truth behind the world, convinced that this is nothing but the divine play, he is always happy. This world, that's Bhagavan Surama Krishna said, some say this is illusory and they are unhappy, and some say this is full of joy. And Sri Ramakrishna says, I belong to the second one. I feel that everything is so beautiful, I am always happy. A different type of situation comes. Then if we read the biography of Ma Sharadamani Devi, it's written by Swami Gambhirananda ji, a very famous monk of the Ramakrishna order. There we will find the Ma Sharadamani Devi, she was in the household with so many different type of people, varieties. She was not having her own children, she didn't give any birth to any children, but so many varieties of people, they used to live with her, and she used to adjust with them. It was not necessary for her to do that. Still she did, and always happy. In different situation, always happy. How? Because she knew this is the divine play only going on, and it's so temporary. We do not know what is going to happen. Any moment anything may happen. So as long as I survive, as long as I live, I should understand this is the divine play, and this is, if we are from the dualistic point of view, is the God's divine game play is going on, and I have been given this portion to act, so I am just acting in that way, that much, and it will be over. Then afterwards I will be completely free. So Vedantin will see that there is nothing but the consciousness, and whatever is happening is like the movie on the base of a white, the screen. The white screen is the permanent, it is the base. On that, the movie, the going on and on. All those things are not true. It is only moving, the movie. So that is the way if we think. Now, friend, continuing the same idea, we find the Brahman alone exists. And the last time we read this world is nothing but that Brahman, and Brahman alone exists. In 21 verse, Rishi said, if we properly analyze this world, we shall find that it is the self and self alone, nothing else. Like every time, this is the beauty, that every time they will be giving an example. If we examine a cloth, we find only the thread. He says in the 21 verse I read, Tantu matro bhavati eva pata. Pata means the cloth, and if you are analyzing, then you find only the tantu, the threads. The hundreds of threads together, it becomes a cloth. And what is that cloth? And we only see the cloth, but what is the basis of that cloth? The threads. Suppose now we will remove those threads, what will happen? There will be no cloth at all. So, tantu means the thread, matru only, bhavati eva pata, yad vicharita. If you are analyzing, if you are examining, what you find? Like this. Same, atma tat matram eva idam. Atma tat matram, only that consciousness, the self is there. Evam idam tad vishyam vicharitam. Now you analyze the Vishwa. Now you analyze the universe. And what is there in this universe? And we find that there is sound is there, some forms are there, and then smell is there, some taste is there, and we feel by touching. So these 5 things are there. We say Pancha Mahabhuta. The Pancha Mahabhuta means the 5 great elements. That is the beauty of the Hinduism, the Sanatana Dharma. They go analyzing everything. Then they come to a conclusion. There is no creator of Hinduism. The Hinduism was not created by Rama or Krishna or Vishnu or Kali or Durga or Ganesha. No. Hinduism was created by the rishis. They analyzed the truth. They analyzed the whole thing. Then reached to a truth, and that truth is the Brahman, the consciousness. Then how a consciousness is becoming so many varieties. So that also we will come slowly. That was also there. The consciousness, then it became different forms. How it is possible? Different ideas are there. So it says like this, that if you are thinking the self alone as nothing is there, Atma tat matram, only, matra means only, Atma, that self, there, tad vishyam vicharitam. And in the Vishya, then when we are analyzing, we find these 5 elements. And these 5 elements, when they are mixing together, that they are creating some gunas, some qualities. What are those qualities? Satya, Raja and Tama. The Satya quality is the best quality. Why? That always feel for others, they try to help others, always truthful, all those good qualities in one box. Then the good and bad mixed together, there is another box, Raja. And the basis of that good and bad is the ego, tremendous ego. All are having the ego, 3 boxes, all are having the ego. But in the Sattva box, a little less. Raja, it is there, but he also does some good work. So Raja, good and bad mixed. Tama, only bad. So they gave the color. Why color is truly color? No. Just to, we can remember by seeing that. That is a different type of system they developed so that we can remember. The dark color, that is the Tama. You can't see. Nothing can be seen. So that the dark color. Then comes a red color, because of ego, tremendous ego manifesting. And the third one, the Sattva, is white color. So immediately we can identify. It is not that white is Sattva and any white color is Sattva, not like that. It is a conception. So this is the way they are going on analyzing. Then ultimately they found nothing over there. What actually they were trying to understand? The permanent thing. There is nothing permanent, it is all changing. And the things that are changing is going to be destroyed. And the Vedanta students, you all know, they are going to be destroyed all the time. Then there must be something permanent, otherwise how we can understand the changes? A thing that is also moving and another thing also moving, I cannot understand whether they are moving or not. Something must be static. Then only comparing it that we can understand that we are moving. When there is no cloud in the sky, if you are flying, you will feel that you are just floating, you are not moving. Whereas that is the aircraft is moving so fast. Why? Because there is nothing to compare. These are all basic sciences. Similarly, applying all these things, they came to know all things are moving, including my body and mind. I also belong to this world. Including my body and mind, everything is moving, changing. Then what is that? That is permanent, comparing with which we can understand that we are moving. That they found out and gave the name Brahman. And that Brahman, it is all pervading consciousness. Many people won't be able to understand that. A group of teachers then gave the name Vishnu. The Vishnu is all pervading God. Like this it goes. So this is the ultimately, if you go to the Upanishad, we find that Pariksha lokan karmachitan brahmana nirveda maya krita kritena. So they are analyzing. So this is Hinduism. How the Hinduism was created? By analysis. How they analyzed? Their main point was to find out something which is not changing at all, which is the basis of everything. So for that they were going on understanding. So this is the ultimate discovery. Now comes the question of the creation. If that was only one, how it has been created then? So many varieties. If the consciousness is only one, how the creation came? So we have already discussed it in our October 18th class 2020, October 18th. If you go back to YouTube, you can find in details discussions were there. I will just mention the different theories of creation was put forward, because the philosophers, they were curious to know how the creation came. And philosophy means you have to give the answer to three questions. I again and again say the creator, the creation, and the relation between the creator and the creation. So these three questions you must have to give the answer. Otherwise, so you won't be accepted as a philosophy. So first we find Sanghatabada, the doctrine of collision. So it collided. But what is going to collide with what? There is only one thing. How it can get the collision? So that, like that, the science they always say, the Big Bang theory and all that for the creation, almost like that, the Sanghatabada. Sanghata means that it collided, the collision, the theory of collision. But it was rejected by the Vedantin, by the other people. They are questioning that there was only one. There was no two, and without the two there cannot be the collision. Second come Arambhavada, doctrine of origination. And how it was originated? The same thing, but different particles come together, make a different thing. Like there was the earth was there, clay was there, but different the points of the clay, different portions of the clay come together, and then they make a earthen pot. So that was also not very much appreciated for different reasons. This Arambhavada, the doctrine of origination. In the beginning there was nothing, but from the same thing, a different the small portions came together, and another different thing was created. That was. Then come the Parinamavada, transformation. From one thing, it completely became the second. So Parinama, completely transformed. Example, milk became yogurt. The milk and yogurt, completely different thing. When you are taking the yogurt, you cannot say, I am drinking milk. Can you? But it is made of milk only. So Parinamavada, they saw it was Brahman, it was the consciousness, but that consciousness transformed into this world. The problem is, if that is so, that means the sum total of Brahman has been exhausted, because when from one item another items were created, the first one will be exhausted. Is it possible? The Swami Vivekananda puts this question in a very unique way. Shall God die? Like that he is asking. The kid cannot be. The third is called Bibartabada. Now, the most of the people, they are accepting the Vedanta philosophy, they propagate this. Shankaracharya is mainly, what is this Bibartabada? It is the doctrine of apparent change, it is not real change. Parinamavada is a real change, but this is the Bibartabada is the apparent change. How is this apparent change? Suppose a person, he is acting like a king. In reality, he is a peasant, an ordinary person. But in that locality, there is a drama was there, so he became the king and he was behaving like a king. And his dress, his gesture, posture, the dialogue, everything was like a king. But is he truly king? No. What happened? That his wife and the little child, they were also there present watching the drama. Then suddenly the king, that something happened, that he removed the crown, and when he was removing the crown, then his wig also went out, and the child shouted, "Oh, this is my father, this is my father." So he could understand that this is the father. So this is the way things goes. The father was there, but at this moment he is behaving like or dressed like a king. So he became the king, but that is temporary. So this is the way. So Bibartabada is this. This moment, I am Swami Ishatmananda, you are so and so, she is, and there are so many varieties in this world, and we are behaving like that. But in reality, we are consciousness. Some are rich, some are poor, some are educated, some are uneducated, some are well off, some are not. All these things, some are happy, some are suffering, all these things, and in a different forms and names, things are happening like this. But the ultimate thing is the consciousness. It never changes. It's only for the time being it appears like that, but it is not actually change. And they say there's a lot of water you can see in the mirage, and the beautiful water, and you can see the waves on the water, and you go over there and you see nothing, no water. And if you check, if you taste, you will find not a little sand was wet, but you saw the water on the sand, but sand is not wet. How it is? The sand was as it is. Only you have imposed your idea on that. So the Vedantins say it is the creation is of your imagination. It's a little difficult to understand, but at the same time, this is the very valid the explanation of the creation. If we take the creation as the permanent, some people accept like that, the difficulty will be that there will be no liberation. If there is no liberation, then there will be no spiritual practices. And if there is no spiritual practices, the life will be only like the lives of the jungle. The powerful will kill and punish the weak. There will be nothing at all. So this is the way we have to understand. The whole human being, we are surviving because of the morality. It's not because of the law and the codes of that all those. The society cannot change the human being. Human being is changed because of the philosophy. And that is why I always strongly feel that if we try to change the philosophy and the philosophers and those who are propagating the religion, if we can change their mindset and say that what you are thinking is good for you, and don't try to impose it on others, that will completely stop all this. The fighting will reduce to 90%, we can say. We cannot say that 100% will be over, because it is there in the nature. Some people will always be there, but the intensity will remove, and the hatred between different philosophy, different religion, different sects, different language will go away. So Vedanta is the only answer for true peace in this world. Just because we have printed some of the rules, we sat, all the nations came together, sat in one place, and then they said these are the things we should maintain. That's a good thing. But that permanent solution will never come. Only it will come if we can give the proper theory, proper philosophy, proper understanding. And Vedanta says that we are all same, but we look different apparently, not really. A bulb and a tube light, a fan and a computer, they look different. Names are different. The functions are also different. But they should not fight with each other, because in reality it is only the electricity. It is only the power. So obviously, if we understand that, then there will be no fighting. Friends, that is exactly the philosophical world. Now at present, they accept the two doctrines, the Parinamabada and the Bibartabada. Whatever may be the theory of creation, Vedanta emphasizes that the Brahman alone exists, only the consciousness. And the Rishi Vasistha explain these by saying, he gives an example. Very simple example that helps us to understand. Vishwa Bichi Bilasa Ayam Chit Sudha Abde Udeti Biliyate cha tatriva madde katham tanmaya. Now this world is nothing but the Brahman. That is the idea, that is the discussion. Now in support of this, the Vasistha Rishi, he is telling, this is the world, the Vishwa, Bichi Bilasa, waves, it is the play. Ayam Chit Sudha Abde Udeti. Abde means from the ocean. Udeti arises. What? Only the waves. The waves of the ocean is not separate from the ocean. And when the wave has taken a form, wave form, we don't say that is ocean, we say the wave. It is a different name. It is a different form. Though it is coming out of the ocean, is created out of ocean water, but that moment when it is a huge wave is coming, that's why the name wave. We say it's a wave. Do we say the ocean is coming? We say the waves are coming. And when that wave is existing in that fashion, is it not the ocean? That is also ocean. Can we separate the ocean and the wave and say, oh, now that moment when the wave was there, it was not connected with the ocean? That will be foolish. This is the example, the beautifully presented by the Vasistha Muni, and he is telling the waves that comes, the bichi, this bilasa, the same way the consciousness, it is also just bilasa. Bilasa means the play. Bhagavan Surama Krishna says divine play. We do not know why he created, but he created just because of the play he wanted. Ekaham bahusyama vihi. the rishis, they say again and again, I am one, I like to be many. And by that way, he is creating. But the creation out of what? The wave that was created out of what? From the ocean water. And the world was created out of what? From the consciousness. They remained for some time in that form. The wave remained for some time in that form, and then again it goes and mingles with the ocean water. So previously, before the wave was created, it was ocean. After that, when it mixed with the ocean, it is ocean. In between the form that it took, can it be separate? That is the argument. This world is nothing but Brahman, and Brahman alone exists. What are the arguments? This is the unique argument. And same way, from the consciousness, as if a big wave came and it created the world, and world of different names and forms, and stay there for some time. And then again it goes and merges with the consciousness. The coming from the consciousness and staying for some time in a different names and form, like the wave, and then going and mixing with the same consciousness, then this world, whom I call world, as we are calling the wave, same way, is it separate from the consciousness? Can it be? So this is only we have to understand. This world is nothing but that consciousness, and there exists only consciousness and nothing else. We can say there exists only the ocean. The example, and why it is so difficult for us to understand, because we are convinced for a long time, not only this life before this, so many lives we have lived, and we have taken it for granted that this is separate, a completely different life. So that is the reason we are suffering. So what is the spiritual practice? The sadhana, only to understand this. The Vedanta will say you need not to do anything, just understand this, then you are free. The moment you are free, you are doing everything. Oh, I have understood the Vedanta, so I will resign from the job and I will roam in the street. No. That is completely wrong conception. That's why when Bhagavan Surama Krishna said to Girish Chandra Ghosh, he came to Surama Krishna, enough is enough, now I am going to give up my play and writing the stories and all that. I will go to a secluded place and meditate. Surama Krishna said, no, you should not go. That is not for you. You better compose and then enact a different wonderful plays that will boost up the moralities of the ordinary people in the society. That will be your mission. So all these days it was only your passion, now it should be your mission to transform the people. That you should help through this drama to help the people to raise their morality. Master Mahashaya, the teacher, he also came, he also prayed for the same thing. Sri Ramakrishna told, go back to your classroom and teach the students as you are teaching, but at the same time tell them about the truth, and that is God. So slowly, when those young minds will understand what is actually God and how to realize God and why it should be the goal of our human life, then they will not only help themselves, their unattached but attentive work, attentive mind will improve the society. Master Mahashaya became a missionary by that way. So this is the way the whole works. Swami Vivekananda, when he was asked by his guru Sri Ramakrishna, what do you want? You know that many of you have read that unique answer. He said, oh, I like to meditate constantly, and sometimes just to maintain this body, I will come out of meditation, eat something, again I will go into that meditation. Surama Krishna rebuked him. Fie on you. You are thinking in that way, it is a completely selfish way. Then if you can see God by closing your eyes, can't you see God by opening your eyes? This world is nothing but the same Brahman, same God, and nothing else. Friends, I again and again I refer Bhagavan Surama Krishna because he is the most modern and most perfect for the modern minds to understand the ancient Vedanta. Surama Krishna traveling, and he saw that the ladies and the prostitutes, but Surama Krishna was not hesitant at all seeing those. Usually other people, they will be closing and they won't look, but Surama Krishna saw only the mother in them, and he was saying, Mother, you wanted to dress like this? Oh, you look good. So that is the way Surama Krishna. He can't see anything else but the mother everywhere, everywhere. So this is the Vedanta in practice. There is nothing but the Brahman, the only Brahman exists. When you are talking with a person, maybe a very knowledgeable person or an illiterate, maybe a rich or a poor person, maybe not good, but at the same time we should have to understand I am actually conversing with a very holy personality, because within him, within her, in truth, my God is residing. The consciousness is there. From the Vedantic point of view, consciousness. From the Dvaita point of view, God. So that is the way, if you think, your behavior will change. And by that way, now you will not only improve yourself, you will be completely free from all type of anxieties, because God is only there. Whatever is happening all around, don't be excited. Everything is going to take shape, everything, but it may take some time. But wait and see. Bishya beach bilasa ayam chitsuda abde udeti biliyate cha tatriva madde katham tanmaya. Is the beginning and the end are same. Only in between a little different form and shape and name, how can that be separate? So that is the question the Rishi is asking. Creation, sustenance and dissolution, in all the three conditions, it is Brahman alone, hence Brahman alone exists. Rishi gives another example, and this is the 23rd sloka of the Yoga Vasistha. Yatha na toyata bhinna phena urmi hima budbudaha atmano opi tatha abhinna vishyam atma vinirgata. I broke those and I said that it will be easy for you to understand. The same type of example he is giving again, and this is a very nice way he is mentioning. As the foam, ripple, snow or bubbles are not separate from the water, similarly this universe which emerged from the Brahman can never be separated from Brahman. He says, Yatha na toyata. Toyata means from water. Yatha as na, not, toyata, from water, bhinna, different, what? Phena. Phena means the foam. Urmi means the ripple. Hima, the snow. And budbuda, the bubbles. See how wonderful example that the Rishi is giving, Yoga Vasistha, that Vasistha Muni is giving. And it is so simple to understand that we see that in the same water, different type of names and different type of forms, isn't it? We cannot deny it. And he says that sometimes it is the foam. And if we go on the seashore, we see that all these things. We see the bubbles, we see the waves, urmi means those waves. Hima if you go to a cold place, it will be now, and I don't know, a few days before, the Chicago lake, that it was completely the snow. The water took the snow form. So snow is there, bubbles are there, waves are there, the ripples are there, foam is there, but all are made of water only. From the same water, all these different forms came. Slowly, slowly, he is trying our mind to that oneness. He is giving the example of the water from the ocean or the river, these forms are coming. But the same way, Atmanopi tata abhinnam bishyam. Bishyam, when he talks about the word, uses the word bishya, bishya means so many varieties, no limit. So many varieties. Even there may be many other things which has not been discovered by the scientist. Different type of species will be there. So millions and billions underwater, the life sometimes, when they show, my God, so many varieties. They are all living under there. And then above water, on this world, so many varieties of people, different feature, different language, different philosophy, different culture, so many varieties. But the Vedantin will say this is only one, and that is consciousness. The friends, every time we have to remember it. Those who are studying the Vedanta, Advaita Vedanta, and following in the path of the Sri Shankaracharya, it says like this: Yatha na toyata bhinna, as from the water they are not different. Who are not different? Fena, the foam, Urmi, the ripple, Hima, the snow, and Budbudaha, the bubbles. Same way, the Atmana opi tatha abhinnam. And like that, abhinnam, there is no separation from the Atmana, that is the consciousness. What? Bishyam. The Bishyam, the world, the manifested world is not separate. And Binirgatam. So this is the way we have to understand. Young Narendra was not ready to accept that this world with all its multiplicity is Brahman. You know that beautiful the conversation between the disciple and the master, Surama Krishna, trying to convince the Narendranath. But Narendra was not ready. He was very young and he was influenced by the Brahmo Samaj. But he read the Upanishads, Veda. By that time, he was a voracious reader and he could remember whatever he read, the wonderful, excellent memory power. So that boy, after reading different, not only the Hindu scripture, but also the Western philosophy, he completed. And he was not in a condition to understand what he should accept. So he was searching for a guru. And when he was going and asking, in those days the famous people were there, so he went and asked, Sir, have you seen God? Have you realized God? Have you have direct experience about the truth that you are talking? Or the scripture that we read? All of them, they replied in a negative way. They said, no, we read, we understand, and we believe. Only one person who said, yes, I have seen God as I see you now, this moment, but more clearly than I see you. That means I have seen not with the help of my eye, because of the eye, maybe some defects will be there in the eyes. We can't see it properly. And that is it says, more clearly than I see you now. This conviction. The Narendra, Bhagavan Surama Krishna, he was the worshipper of goddess Kali. He was a Dvaita, he was the dualist. But the beauty of the Hinduism is, sometimes we don't understand, we fight, but that is our ignorance. But the duality takes us to the monistic way. Our whole thought goes to only one. He was worshipping goddess Kali, Ma Kali. But when he realized the truth, it was only the consciousness. The waves of light, the consciousness came and engulfed each and everything. There is no difference, nothing. He told that this is this temple and me and whole this area, the trees, the Ganga and everything, it merged into that. So it became only one. Same way when it says, from the ocean, from the water, we see the foam, we see the bubbles, we see the snow, but when it goes and merges, it becomes one. From the Atman, we see difference. It is a building, a temple building, and inside inside the temple there is an image, and one who is worshipping, and the utensils that he is using for the puja, and all around the things that is there, all from the same consciousness. The example that we just read in the Yoga Vasistha, we find it in the life of Bhagavan Surama Krishna. And this he wanted to teach to his very beloved disciple, Narendranath, the afterwards Swami Vivekananda. But he was not ready. Then immediately Surama Krishna told, but you sing the song, Jo kuch hai so tu hi hai. So why you are singing that song? Jo kuch hai, whatever existing, so that tu hi hai, you are that. So this is the way Surama Krishna was. This truth, this Brahman alone exists, has been supported by the Chandogya Upanishad also. The Chandogya Upanishad and also Brahma Sutra. Why references are necessary? Sometimes we give the references. Why these references are necessary? I am not giving reference from any particular philosopher, Western philosopher, this name, that name. No. I am giving the reference from the rishis, those who truly realize that. The philosophers, they analyze. They have the very nice intellect, they analyze. But we do not know whether they are realized. Analysis is one thing, realization is another thing. So this realization, the people who realize, they are called rishis. In the Chandogya also is a rishi who saw that same thing. To prove that same truth which Rishi Vasistha realized and now teaching to Sri Ramachandra was discovered by different people at different time. This is also very important. Only one truth that has been revealed to only one person, and after that no one can realize that, it is very unscientific. Only one prophet has realized this and no one else can realize, very, very unscientific. If the prophet can do that, anyone should be able to do that, following the processes that the prophet followed. Why not? And if we can't do that, if we can't realize the Brahman, that means there is some defect is there in the teaching. If I am genuine and following each and everything properly, result will be the same. The rishi of the old, of the Upanishad, the process they followed, if I am following the same process, practicing in the same way, whatever the result or the realization the rishi had, I am also supposed to get it. That's why I gave the reference of Bhagavan Surama Krishna. We so modern, only 19th century, and the rishi so old, and in between coming the rishi and Surama Krishna, in between coming the Ramachandra, the Ramayana time, and the Vasistha Muni is also having the. So the past, middle, present, different people, different time, they realize the same truth. But that way we can prove the Brahman alone exists. Thank you, friends. We should conclude now with this, and I will see if there is any question. I will try to answer and we will conclude.
Well, the first question is from Kumara Kantirava. She's saying, I'm an initiated disciple of your order, but I came to know Sharada Mataji, my Ishta Devata, was taking meat. I have stopped prayer, meditation. What should I do? Please help.
It is up to you. Sharada Mataji never ate the meat anyway. Where you ate, we don't. But the Guru, the Sharada Ma, she never ate. Only if that is the problem for eating. So I can assure you, Ma Sharada Mani never ate the meat or anything. So you can be rest assured. And if that is the problem for eating to accept, up to you. You can think in whatever way. Thank you.
The next question is from Srima Viswas. How to follow the path you explained?
Oh, Shiva, that is, that it's a constant practice. It's the constant practice only. Because as in the dualistic way, we always go to the temple, we worship, we pray, we meditate, we fast. These are the processes are there. In the Vedanta also, you have to go on constantly analyzing. That's called vichara. You have to go on analyzing. And only through analysis that it is possible to constantly you have to vichara. And this is called vichara marg. So if you like to follow this, you like to see the Atman in everything, then you have to go on analyzing it. So friends, thank you. Let us say Shanti 3 times and we conclude. Om Shanti, Shanti, Shanti. Harihi Om Tat Sat. Sri Rama Krishna Arpanamastu. Friends, I like to tell you the incident that happened regarding this food and all that. So, what happened, that Ranganathanandaji Maharaj, a great Swami, he came, and the Ranganathanandaji was going to a very famous and rich person, because they used to invite him once in a year to have the sadhu sangha, satsanga. That's a builder's house. I went as a novice with Swami Ranganathanandaji, and just to having his company or to serve him. So all these 3 days continuously, from morning 9 o'clock to evening 5 o'clock, like that. The 3 days retreat, we can say, with the family members of the that family, builder family. Then finally, the Ranganathanandaji was going back to Hyderabad. I was also there, and the secretary of the builder, he was also there. He was a good, nice person. So after seeing off the Swami, when we were coming back, that we find that gentleman asked me, the Swamiji, shall I ask you one question? And yes. Does that Swami, this our Ranganathanandaji Maharaj, does he take the vegetarian food or non-veg? I told vegetarian. Oh, that is good. That they are very happy. So because he is practicing in that way, so good. Then after some time he asked me, do you take veg or non-veg? I told right from the childhood, non-veg. So I take that way. Oh, you are taking non-veg, Swami. But you know that you are such a nice person. 3 days we were together. I found you such a nice person and we talked. But you take non-veg. I told, sir, tell me, what do you want? A good person or only a person who takes only vegetarian food but bad person? What do you want? Good person. Well, you have given me the certificate that I am a good person. Even after taking such a long time in my life, the non-veg food, I am a good person. So that is the, keep in mind, that is the way we have to.
One late question came, Maharaj. Shujit Gupta is asking, can you please tell which is an easy path for common people like us, path of bhakti or path of Vedanta?
Shujit Babu, this is the wonderful question that you have asked, and I should say, as Bhagavan Surama Krishna has suggested for the people of the present age, Naradiya Bhakti. He said that for the present age, for this people, we should practice, we should follow Naradiya Bhakti, because the path that we are studying is very, very hard. It's only for the chosen few. You know, among Bhagavan Surama Krishna's disciples, only Swami Vivekananda was capable to understand this Advaita Vedanta, and he followed all others in the Dvaita. But Surama Krishna is suggesting the Naradiya Bhakti Sutra. You know, what is that? It's the combination of knowledge, karma, and also the knowledge and work and meditation. So we are studying Naradiya Bhakti Sutra, maybe some other day, and if you read, so devotion and knowledge clubbed together is Naradiya Bhakti Sutra. It will be good for you to follow that.
No, sorry, some late questions are coming. Devashish, people often do fasting before offering prayer of God. Is it necessary to do it?
This is, you know, that when you are fasting, your body remains okay, because suppose you eat something or drink something that creates problem in the body. So the good idea that you decided to do, and that will be hampered. That's why they always say be very, very careful. But not that if you eat and also keeping the body all right and can work, that's all right. You know that in our cases, before the initiation, we always say come with fasting. But sometime some people say we can't fast because of the health reason. We say okay, then you better take some food and then come. Not that hard and fast rule.
The last question, Shashi Bhushan is asking, how journey goes from knowing to realizing?
Oh, that's good way with our expression. Knowing means understanding, as we are understanding now, that there can be nothing but the Supreme Brahman, the consciousness or the God. Now realizing means practicing in this way, one day we will realize. I can give you an example of when we were children as student, so we were going and trying to understand in the classrooms that these, and slowly, some of us became the professor, some of us became the writer, some are scientists, doctors, engineers, and isn't that? So knowing becomes the realization, and then you are writing books, you are giving the theories, the people are following your theories, then you become the master. The same way, one day, by the grace of that Almighty, we will also realize. Thank you. Thank you then. Once again, Shanti, Shanti, Shanti. May all be happy and peaceful.